Yo, pana, funde la grasa, nigga.
Feel like the one, feeling it stuck. This ain't no whack, that's diamond in the cup. Light on my shoulders, I'm getting them rough. Money don't fold up, I feel like Pac in the tub. Showered in gold chains, knots on me. They got the slices, I stay with the block of cheese. Broccoli pressure, book cost me 43. Hey, I stay in my lane, don't fuck with no one. Fuck with no one. Whoa. If you mad, hold your horses, I'm still going up. You cannot stop it, just sit back and watch it. I pull up in different whips, yeah, I got options. Don't play with that sneak dissing, boy, you try-ters. They see me in person, they wanna talk about it. I feel like I'm, who you feel like? I feel like I'm pocking the tub with the chains on. Whole lot of gold. They want me to turn it down, I gotta stay on. And never go out, we ain't dimming the lights, no. Going out like their bikes, 12 o'clock. Everybody eating over here, having more than one bite.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. MAZUMA TV. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. They done finally let your boy go, man.
I got like $70,000 in my pocket. If you body me, you can take the money. Right now. I hate you, nigga. Let's die.
The fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self.
It's about goddamn time, man. People asking, where you been, nigga? Damn, Mark, what's going on? Listen, man, YouTube gonna do what YouTube gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? They sat me down for a little bit, gave me a few months probation and all that, but we still consistent. We still did some views. We still got subs. You feel what I'm saying? And I had some great support from the motherfucking nation, from the motherfucking mob. We in here, baby. What's going on? Talk to me, man. Shout out to the boy Coffee Plant in the building. What up? Asian 86. What up? Justin Jackson in the building. What up? How we feeling, man? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the like button. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that MAZUMA TV is free, baby. I wasn't incarcerated or anything like that. Please don't get that impression. You see what I'm saying? But unfortunately, I did make a mistake, and I had to suffer the consequences of my actions. It is what it is, man. I'm happy to see everybody in the building. Did you guys miss me? I did know. I do know that I missed y'all, man. There's been a lot that's been going on since I've been gone. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right to it, man. We're going to talk about the WBO making Keyshawn Davis the #1 contender for his brother, Shakur Stevenson's WBO title at 140 pounds and what that could mean moving forward, man. We're going to speak about Jake Paul disrespecting my people, man. Talking crazy about the Puerto Ricans. We definitely going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Brandon Figueroa knocking out Nick Ball. You see what I'm saying? Then we gonna get into some open boxing topics as always, man. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. My boy Andres Kiani, what up, brother? He said, what's great, MAZUMA? I can't call it, brother. Everything's going well. We had a great weekend too, man. We had a great weekend, man. I can't complain at all. Shout out to the 15 people that's in the building. We need 15 likes, brothers and sisters. My boy Slime in the building. What up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had a great weekend of boxing, man. Yo, starting from yesterday. Sure, let's talk about yesterday. We had an amateur show at Pivot Boxing Academy, boxing under the skylight. What's that, 14? I don't even know at this point. We just been running it up. And we had a surprise, not necessarily a surprise to me, but it may have been a surprise to you all. We had Bill Haney in the building. You see what I'm saying? We had Bill Haney in the building, man. The first motherfucker, the first motherfucker to bring Sean Haney, Devin Haney, little brother, with Bill Haney to the motherfucking trenches in North Philly. Let's get this shit popping, man. You know what I'm saying? That I made it happen. I made the calls. I made it happen. You feel me? I had Sean Haney do his second amateur fight at my boxing facility, man. Shout out to my pop, Lando Rosa. Shout out to myself for the matchmaking. You see what I'm saying? And Sean Haney got a W at Pivot Boxing Academy. My boy walked out with a Pivot Boxing Academy belt. Let's go, champ. What is we talking about, man? What is we talking about?
And you the jump.
Oh, man.
Let's go, champ.
Beautiful, man. Shout out to Sean Haney, man. That kid can actually fight a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you want to see his fight, it is now available on my channel, Sean Haney's second amateur fight over at Pivot Boxing Academy. I do know a lot of people want to tap in with the Haneys and see what they got going on. Even if you hating on them motherfuckers, go check out his performance. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. It was a beautiful night of boxing, man. Bill Haney was a real cool dude. Came in the trenches with no security. With no security. Man, you got to respect that shit, man. A lot of people be scared to come over to North. You feel what I'm saying? He came over there. Of course, he had his people with him, but was a gentleman the whole time. It was a great time overall, man. We had some lit fights, man. I want to shout out to the fighter of the night who happens to be under my tutelage, David Jacobs. David Jacobs got a third-round knockout, man. Shout out to my young boy, David, man. I'm very proud of you. You know what I mean? Came to us 0-1. Has been winning all of his fights since then. He got robbed one time, but we don't look at that as a loss. We know what it was, and we continue moving. And USA Boxing corrected it on their website. You feel what I'm saying? Because they knew what the fuck it was. So ever since he's been with us, he's turned his whole record around. He's been boxing phenomenally. Shout out to him. He got a beautiful knockout. Shout out to my boy Derek Moore, man. Shout out to the boy Derek Moore. You see what I'm saying? He put on a great display of boxing. Great display of boxing, man. And everybody in their mind talking about he ready for the professional. So we're going to go ahead and get that in the works as well. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Derek, the Maestro Moore. Shout out to David Jacobs, man. Great performances overall, man. Shout out to my boy Joshua Ramos. Shout out to my boy Deshaun Jones. They were supposed to fight, but their opponents pulled out. You know what I'm saying? We can't stop, we can't stop these weirdos from, pulling out of fights, man. You feel what I'm saying?
Cornball, nigga. Use a fucking cornball. Use a fucking cornball.
You feel me? Like, we can't stop them from not wanting to fight. It's either you want to or you don't. So shout out to the nation and the mob as always. Shout out to my boy J Cash in the building. Mr. Big Play Break, man. Shout out to you, brother. I see you in the comments supporting the videos and all that good stuff, man. We're going to have a hell of a conversation tonight. And, of course, if anybody wants to come in and show love, want to join the live, want to talk boxing with your boy, then let's have it. You feel what I'm saying? But until then, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get into this boxing talk. You feel what I mean? Shout out to the nation and the mob. As always, I haven't said it enough. To be honest with you, man. The fact that y'all held that down while I was going through what I was going through with YouTube, very commendable, very respectable, man. You know what I mean? And I'm just happy that I got the support system that I have on this channel, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, and I keep saying this, and I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. We could be a small channel forever. Everybody and their mother could pass me up on YouTube. I know I have the most knowledgeable chat, and I got the realest niggas on YouTube. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. The mob, we the realest motherfuckers that ever come out this YouTube shit. I swear to God. The group chat, you know what I'm saying? The people that just come by, even the women of the chat. Shout out to the wifey, Millennia. Shout out to Smoochie. Shout out to Bella Faith. Shout out to Karma whenever she feels like coming by. All that good stuff, man. I'm just highly appreciative, man. And I just been sitting back, being patient, waiting. And we finally here. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. So we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about the subject that that we're gonna be touching on the least, to be honest with you. But we still gonna give our congratulations to Brandon Figueroa, man. Brandon Figueroa, what now? What is he now? What is he, like a 3-time world champion now, man? Shout out to Brandon Figueroa, man. He is a great example of resiliency in the sport of boxing, man. You see what I mean? This kid, a lot of people was calling him out for, his iffy performances. Obviously he had some highs in his career. One of my favorite performances from Brandon Figueroa was when he faced Luis Neri. You know what I'm saying? That he came up short against Stephen Fulton in a slight, I guess you could say, controversial loss. You know what I'm saying? He turned it back around, was able to become world champion again. You see what I mean? Or at least contend for the world title. I don't know how many world titles he's actually won, to be honest with you. But I think this is going to be his 3rd world title. I could be wrong. But I know that he won his first world title with Luis Neri, I believe. Then he attempted to unify with Stephen Fulton. He came up short. Then I think he grabbed another WBC title. I could be wrong. And then Stephen Fulton had beat him again. And then he just bounced back and became champion against Nick Ball. And not only did he beat Nick Ball, he was up a majority of the scorecards. You know what I'm saying? One judge had it the complete other way from Nick Ball. When I went back and watched it, I thought that was absolute insanity. But shout out to the other two judges who had it in Brandon Figueroa's favor. And he didn't leave it to the judges at the end of the day. You know why? You know why? Because he got the motherfucking stoppage. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to the boy Brandon Figueroa for coming through. Beautiful work, champ. You know what I'm saying? Now we finally got Nick Ball out of the way. No disrespect to Nick Ball, but goddamn, bro. Ever since you won that world title off of Raymond Ford, you've been out here trying to hold that belt hostage for as long as you can, man. You know, TJ Donahue, come on, man. Sam Goodman, you know, Ronnie Rios, like those guys, man. You know, no disrespect to any of them. You know, no disrespect to Sam Goodman because he was an undefeated fighter at the end of the day, but come on, man. Those ain't the people that we wanted to see you fight. And let's keep it real. I think he faced Brandon Figueroa in all honesty because he ain't been looking like himself lately. You know, that's just my opinion. I felt like he was just I thought he seen Brandon Figueroa that was on the decline because, you know, Brandon didn't really look like himself in that rematch with Stephen Fulton and things of that nature. So they was like, you know what, let's take advantage of this opportunity. This is a former world champion. We beat him. You know what I'm saying? We could build the resume and all that good stuff. And, you know, Brandon Figueroa showed up that night. And I also want to say, shout out to Manny Robles. Manny Robles is a bad motherfucker, bro. Once I found out, because I was actually at my gym, you know what I'm saying, finishing up the fights, when I got news, I had gotten news that Brandon Figueroa had knocked out Nick Ball, man, and I was just so happy for him. I was rooting for Brandon Figueroa if y'all checked out the videos that I've been putting out. And he was able to seal the deal in impressive fashion. You know what I'm saying? So very, very happy for him. You know, Nick Ball, you know, listen, man, he's always going to have that issue throughout his career. Size looked like it definitely played a part. Ralph said, shout out to my boy Ralph. Shout out to Claymore Rain in the building, man. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. I hope everything is well with you and yours. A Sing says, Mazuma, any news on some Boots news? Heard Virgil negotiations dead and Xander and Kelly ain't fighting him. Well, I can't really call it, brother. I haven't really spoke to anybody that was close to him. But what I will say is that Boots is being very optimistic about finalizing this deal with Virgil Ortiz. To be honest with you, I think Boots needs to look in a different direction. But a little bit of optimism as a Jerron Ennis fan is taken into consideration that Xander Zayas has not been named the WBA super champion as of yet. So based off of that, you know, when you're a super champion, you basically don't have to fight mandatories. I don't know if anybody knows that from the research that I've gathered and what I learned back from when Floyd was super champion. And I remember Keith Thurman did a whole breakdown on it because Keith Thurman was like the regular champion and Floyd was the super champion. So because he was a super champion, the WBA never mandated Keith Thurman to fight Floyd Mayweather. So that's a little bit of insight right there. But regardless, considering the fact that Xander Zayas is not yet WBA super champion, there can be a possibility that the WBA can order order Xander Zayas to face Jerron Ennis, and that might be a way for him to get into a world title shot. That's what it's looking like. You know what I'm saying? So until, you know, there's a little bit of optimism there for my Jerron Ennis fans. You know, Josh Kelly did mention that Jerron Ennis is one of the options. So I guess there could be some optimism there. I really don't see the Virgil Ortiz fight happening considering the dispute that's going on between manager, promoter, fighter, promoter. You know what I'm saying? It's a little messy over there. So I think until they get that situated, that fight's going to be on hold. So, you know, Boots is obligated to fight between March, the latest April. If he has to fight somebody that's in the WBA rankings or an up-and-coming contender again, just to stay busy, I'm an advocate of that. It's not really in his control at this point in time to make this fight happen with Virgil Ortiz because he's done what he's needed to do on his end. They're just having a dispute over here. So why is he to sit and wait around hoping that they figure something out? What if it's a situation where Virgil and Oscar are in court for a good amount of time? Is he supposed to just wait and just hope that, you know, eventually they come around? No, he has to he needs to stay active. And with contractual obligations, he does have to continue fighting. You know what I'm saying? He got to feed his family. He got to keep his career moving. He got to keep the momentum high. There's no reason for him to be inactive because motherfuckers got disputes going on in courtrooms. It has nothing to do with him. You see what I mean? So Claymore Rain says rumors of Madrimov. Yeah. I heard the commentator. I forgot his name, man. Man, what the hell is his name, man? Chris Mannix. I seen that Chris Mannix has spoke about that while Madrimov was in his last fight, and you know they said that Madrimov was supposedly on the list on a short list of names for Jerron Ennis to possibly fight next. You know, Majumov, in my opinion, didn't look like the old Majumov, not even the one that had, you know, had fought very diligently, you know, very competitively with Terrence Crawford. This looks like a damaged version of him. And from what I understand, he had a severe case of ammonia. And they said that, you know, that he was going to be on a 12-month treatment. So that seems a bit severe to me. And I don't think you should have any type of lung issues going in there with somebody like Jaron Ennis. That's just my personal opinion. You see what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like somebody dealing with health issues in the lead up to somebody dangerous like Jaron Ennis. I would like to see Israel Majumov off of the treatment, lungs completely ready to go, and, you know, possibly getting another fight just to get his bearings right, get himself together, have confidence, you know, in his health. I don't want to see a diminished version of Majumov in the ring with Jaron Ennis, because if Jaron Ennis was to dispose of him, especially in dramatic fashion, he's not really going to receive any credit for that. So that's just my thing. Bethaniel said Majumov had like 2 surgeries. That's possible. I don't know exactly what the details were behind that, but if you need 12-month treatment for anything, that is a serious deal. You see what I'm saying? Now, in terms of Rashidi Ellis, that's a great fight, man. That's a great fight. That was a fight that initially was supposed to have come together, but Rashidi Ellis had declined initially. You know what I mean? They tried to come back around and accept the offer, but by that time it was too late. That's a fight that's been brewing since 147 pounds, specifically around the time that Rashidi Ellis had fought Romain Villa. And I forgot who Jaron Ennis was fighting on that card. Forgot exactly who that was. But regardless, you know what I'm saying, they had gotten into it during a press conference. Boots won his fight, obviously, but Rashidi Ellis didn't. So because of that, you know, the fight was never able to manifest. You see what I mean? But considering that Rashidi Ellis, you know, although he came off of a long layoff, you know, he's been staying active with the Team Combat League. You know, Jaron Ennis has been staying active in actual boxing. And I think Rashidi Ellis had a couple comeback fights since then. So why not? 154 pounds, Rashidi Ellis, you know, from the New England area, man. I know the New England people not really too happy right now considering what happened with the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But, you know, Rashidi Ellis is a very talented fighter from that area. But, you know what I'm saying, going up against Boots is a tough task, but Rashidi Ellis does have some things. He has great boxing ability. You know, he has very fast hands, good combinations. You know, whenever he feels like it, he could turn it up and be aggressive as well. So, and he could be elusive from what I've seen, you know, in a few different fights that I've watched of his. So he could definitely present some trouble to Jaron Ennis. But, you know, if you gas out like you did against Romain Villa and ultimately fall apart, then, you know, that could be a bad thing going up against somebody as versatile, as strong, as fast, as athletic, as explosive as Jaron Ennis. You feel what I'm saying? So if Rashidi Ellis is able to tune some things up and really get himself into great shape and follow a specific game plan from watching fights on Jaron Ennis, if he has the corner necessary that could guide him to victory or possibly guide him to victory, this is a great competitive fight. You know, what would I prefer to see Jaron Ennis do? I would like to see Jaron Ennis fight Josh Kelly. I would like to see that. You know, Josh, you know, and I didn't like how the way Eddie Hearn had worded things. I thought he misled the fans a lot, including myself, was saying that, you know, Josh Kelly has agreed to fight Jaron Ennis next. And then after Josh Kelly and Bakram Murtazaliev fight is concluded, and Josh Kelly is the new IBF super welterweight champion of the world, now Eddie Hearn is saying, you know, he's agreed to fight Jaron Ennis, but he's not the only option. You should have stated that earlier, but for promotional reasons, I guess he wanted to cover that up so it could have more eyes on the fight. You know what I'm saying? That's just simple promoter one-on-one tactics, to be honest with you. And I didn't really like that at all. If I was Jaron Ennis, I wouldn't really be too happy with that statement either, but it is what it is. But Josh Kelly has some options, man. And, you know, as a Jaron Ennis fan, you can't help but be disappointed based off how the way Josh Kelly's talking. It just seems like he's leaving Jaron Ennis as a last option. But, you know, you got to salute Xander Zayas, man, because Xander Zayas is out here making these unification fights happen like they're nothing. So salute to Puerto Rico. Shout out to the boy Xander Zayas for that. If he's able to get this Josh Kelly fight next, especially in America like he had claimed, you're talking about three unification. Well, one was a world title fight. If you're able to get 3 belts in 3 fights, that's very impressive, man. You got to salute Xander Zayas for that if he's able to get that done. And if he beats, listen, Xander Zayas is getting some great wins at 154 that a lot of people aren't taking into consideration. You beat Jorge Garcia Perez, who came off of an upset victory against Charles Conwell. You beat Abbas Barral, who came off of an upset victory against Yoenis Tellez. And if he goes ahead and he fights Josh Kelly and possibly beats him, you're beating a Josh Kelly who beat the boogeyman of 154 pounds, Bakr Mortaz-Aliyev, in an upset victory as well. So he's going ahead and he's fighting these quality guys that's coming off of the best wins of their career, and he's beating them. So you got to give him respect for that, man. Shout out to Xander Zayas. Shout out to Puerto Rico. And, you know, would I like to see Jerron Ennis in the mix of that? Hell yeah. I want to see Philly versus Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with Boost all day. I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm rocking with Boost all day. I don't know Xander. I fuck with Xander. I like what he got going on. I like how the way he's representing Puerto Rico. I'm a Boricua myself, but let's not get it misconstrued. It's not going to be a debate here. I'm not going to be conflicted. I'm not going to be playing neutral. I am rocking with Jerron Boost Ennis because this is somebody that I watched come up since I was in my teenage years, and I knew from the first time that I've seen him train at a gym that he will be world champion, and he surpassed my expectations because he became a unified world champion. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Yeah, I seen Xander Zayas at the Super Bowl halftime performance with Bad Bunny. I seen him and Emiliano Vargas. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? Bad Bunny was showing love to all of the Latinos in the world. You know what I'm saying? He shouted out Mexico. He shouted out DR. He shouted out, you know, of course, Puerto Rico. He shouted out everybody, man. And it was a sensational performance. You feel what I'm saying? So, and lineal. Yeah, lineal is a status that matters as well. If you are the man of the division, you know what I'm saying? You got to give credit where it's due. Like, that's a very, very, very impressive thing. And for those of y'all who don't know what lineal is basically when you beat the man of the division. And I think when I think considering, you know, Bud was technically lineal or whatever you want to call it, man. After that, when he moved up in weight, you know, obviously that status remains vacant. So I think you end up, you know, getting that lineal status back when you face the number 2 guy. When the number 1 guy faces the number 2 guy. You feel what I'm saying? So he had the lineal status, just like Shakur Stevenson got with Teofimo Lopez, because Teofimo Lopez beat the man as Josh Taylor. That's an impressive feature in itself. A lot of people don't really talk about that, but since Claymore Rain brought it up, that's exactly what he was. So it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, man, shout out to Brandon Figueroa. Great victory over Nick Ball. You know what I'm saying? That was a nasty, nasty shot that Nick Ball didn't see. I think Nick Ball was actually in the middle of a combination and he just got caught with it. And he wasn't able to recover. So, you know, great win for Brandon Figueroa. Shout out to Manny Robles, man. You getting upset after upset after upset, you know, just adding big key fights, big upsets on your resume, man. At this point, it's like if you're going up against Manny Robles, man, you need to be on point because you already know that he's coming to upset the he over here trying to fuck these people money up out in Vegas, man. So Manny Robles deserves his respect as a coach, man. You know, I was giving him respect immediately after Andy Ruiz and the Anthony Joshua situation. I hated the way Andy Ruiz carried the situation after he defeated Anthony Joshua. I think he needed to pay a whole lot of respect to Manny Robles for that, but you know, it is what it is. Armando Resendiz versus Caleb Plant. That was another one that Manny Robles was responsible for. And I've seen a whole list, man, and they were all impressive victories. So you got to give Manny Robles his flowers for that because not every trainer is capable of pulling off those type of victories in those type of situations. So shout out to him, man. And that's how I'm going to conclude that topic. I'm looking forward to seeing what Brandon Figueroa does next at 126 pounds. Let's go, champ. And further news. So I'm going to leave this up to y'all, man, because both of these topics I find to be very important, and I got a lot to say about this. Shout out to the 30 people that's in the building. Are we going to talk about the WBO pushing Keyshawn to be the number 1 contender for Shakur Stevenson's WBO 140-pound title? Or are we going to talk about Jake Paul disrespecting Puerto Ricans? Y'all let me know what y'all want to do. Shushu versus Figueroa, that's a great fight. I'm rooting for my boy Shushu. We actually bringing Shushu back on the channel as soon as he, you know, I seen he going back to Vegas and stuff like that. He just went on a whole tour out in New York. That man ain't put his belt down since he won it. But rightfully so, man. When Shushu was on the channel, he was talking about how frustrated he was with the sport and how nobody's giving him opportunities. I told him to just keep winning, keep working, and the opportunity is going to present itself. And boom, 2 weeks later, he's announcing a world title fight with Carlos Castro. He fought Carlos Castro, got hurt against Carlos Castro. He recovered. He remained resilient. He stood to his game plan. He stood focused. He let his hands go. He didn't get discouraged by the moment. Man fought in New York City, turned that bitch into Shoe York City when he was done. Got a brilliant comeback. He came back and got the fucking knockout against Carlos Castro, just like how a true champion would. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bruce Carrington, man. He looked absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. He was very sharp. Even prior to him getting hurt, he looked phenomenal. And he just cemented himself as one of the best 126-pounders in the division. And I always knew, and, since, Claymore Rain is here, I remember we were having a discussion where, they was ranking Shushu at the top of the list. And I'm like, yo, I think he's very capable of being at the top of the list, but he has to show me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he has to show me that. So, he showed me. So that's all I asked for, man. I got to see it to believe it. There's been a lot of people who, look like they were going to be amongst the best, but they never really showed it. You see what I'm saying? That's all I asked for Bruce Carrington, and he showed out. He showed out in front of his people. That's like one of the most ideal ways to win a world title in your hometown. You know what I'm saying? You got a quality opponent. You see what I'm saying? And you on a big card, man. Like a card that history books will always talk about moving forward. So the fact, and then the type of performance you put on too, you showed skills, you showed resiliency, you showed power, you showed finishing ability. Like he showed everything, man. Ring generalship, all of that. Power, speed, intelligence. He took some shots. You know what I mean? He stood up to some shots, and then at the end of the day, there was only one man left standing. It didn't go to the scorecards. It wasn't controversial. It wasn't a heavily disputed win. None of that. So shout out to Bruce Carrington, man. Shout out to Bruce Carrington. You can tell he grew a lot since the Sagawa fight. The Suleiman Sagawa fight, he grew a lot since that fight, man. So shout out to him. Claymore Rain said Turkey has to be vigilant, and begin a unification campaign at 126 pounds. Let's put Shushu in position. September is far away. He needs to stay busy, but play chess. I agree with that, but I'll expand more on that, Clay. I think that Turkey has to be looking to do a unification campaign in every division. You definitely had the funds for it, and you have a lot of these fights. How about seeing a unification campaign at 140 pounds where you got Gary Antoine Russell, Shakur Stevenson? You know what I'm saying? You got Dalton Smith, who's I believe is about to fight Albert Puello in a great fucking fight. And then who's the other champion at 140? Richardson Hitchens. Let's see a unification there with all of those talented names. How about, instead of 147 pounds would probably be a little difficult because Rolly's being real selective with who he wants to fight at 147. But you could definitely get some great fights there. How about getting Jaron Ennis in some of these in these big fights at 154? Because it looks like the politics of boxing is looking to fuck him over. You know what I'm saying? How about getting him involved? How about, especially after they get these belts off of, John Beck or whatever they're going to do. Let's see some big fights happen at 160, man. You know what I'm saying? There's some big fights that could be made there. How about 68? All them belts done got turned loose. We need to get one champion again. Canelo said he don't want to tune up. He want to get straight into a world title fight. Let's get Canelo on that world title run back in September and see exactly what he has left after that Terrence Crawford loss. All of these divisions, all of them. You see what I'm saying? So, we definitely going to talk about it, man. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the way 2026 turns out, but we already had some bangers this year, and we just hit February. Who the fuck is Rolly to be selective? Somebody that's clearly being protected by the WBA, in my opinion. That's what I think he is. But shout out to Bella Faith. I shouted you out earlier. Trick said, Mazuma, not sure if you saw, but Jake Paul posted something about Puerto Ricans. Bro, it's in the title, brother. So that's exactly what I was going to transition into, but I was leaving it up to the people as to what we're going to be talking about next. Do you want to talk about the WBO pushing Keyshawn to be the #1 contender for Shakur Stevenson's belt? Or are we going to talk about Jake Paul disrespecting Puerto Ricans? I'm ready to talk about either topic, man. We're about to be a half hour in. Shout out to my boy Anonymous in the building. What up? The Kids Sports at Coach Salute. Yo, salute, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, I was in my coaching bag last night, man. If y'all want to go check it out on Pivot Boxing Network. For anybody who has the link, please put it in the chat so I could, highlight it, man. Great amateur show. If y'all love amateur boxing, y'all want to see some quality fights, Go check it out, man. Pivot Boxing Network. The live stream was about 3.5 hours. Sean Haney was on the card. You know, Bill Haney's son was on the card. You know what I mean? Go check that out and assess how the way you feel he performed. I also have his fight on MAZUMA TV. You go click my channel. Go check out Devin Haney little brother fight. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Does he have potential? Does he not? Let me know in the comments, man. Jake Paul disrespecting Puerto Ricans. All right, we're going to follow Marissa's guide. We're going to follow Marissa's word, and we're going to go straight into this topic, man. You know, like I said, you know, for those of y'all who for those of y'all who don't know, man, YouTube set me in time out for a little bit, man. It is what it is. But we back in the building and we getting shit popping. You heard? Clay said, Dalton Smith versus Subriel, Figueroa versus Ball, Cruz versus Mortataya, Tio versus Shakur, the lick off. Oh, wow, the lick off has been one for the books. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. 2026 has been absolutely phenomenal in terms of quality fights and getting some good upsets, too. Like, goddamn, who would have thought that Dalton Smith would have came over to New York and the king of where there's a shit ton of Puerto Ricans. He said, you meant to say kickoff. Yeah. Lick off is crazy. What you be typing, Clay, that shit autocorrect like that? You kinky ass old. But nah, man, all jokes aside, you know, who would have thought Dalton Smith would have pulled that off the way he did, man? I thought Subriel was gonna smoke his boots, but you know, down goes Subriel getting knocked out for the first time in his career. Nigga said Diddy Clay. That's crazy. Come on, man. Talking crazy about the OG. Chill, champ. But anyways, let's get into this Jake Paul. Let's get into this Jake Paul shit, man. And this is something that I wanted to talk about very bad. I put together a video for that as well. You can go check it out. But this is Jake Paul's comments. These are not mine. I didn't make this up. So don't be sending no lawyers my way. Try to threaten me. This is your words, brother. So we're going to hold you to it. Jake Paul says, purposefully, filled with purpose, he's turning off the halftime show. Let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performer who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. This is Jake Paul's words. This is Jake Paul's words. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, this is my whole thing. And I'm gonna tap in with the comments and see exactly what y'all think. But me personally, I couldn't give a fuck about what Jake Paul's views are on the halftime show. You feel what I'm saying? I personally don't feel like it's that fucking serious. You know what I'm saying? There's an artist, one of the biggest artists in the world, Bad Bunny, and I know it may sound pretty confusing to these privileged people that are just surrounded by English speaking people, but you know there is a bigger world out here than English speaking people, right? You do know that there are stars out here on this planet that speak different languages, and you know, there's more than a English speaking fan base that takes part in watching the Super Bowl, right? And from what I understand, and shout out to my boy that sent me this message earlier today, there's been several non-U.S. citizens that have performed at the halftime show, and I didn't hear any type of criticism for that. Let's start with Rihanna. I know y'all love Rihanna. She, from what I understand, she's not a U.S. citizen, or at least was born here. Shakira, not a U.S. citizen. We love Shakira, and I don't have anything negative to say about Shakira, but she is not a U.S. citizen. She has performed at the Super Bowl. Coldplay got some bangers, y'all. I think Coldplay is the one that got that song. And they was all yellow from the stars, the way you shine so blue, all the things you do. Coldplay got bangers. Shout out to Coldplay. Not U.S. citizens. The Who, not U.S. citizens. Rolling Stone, not U.S. citizens. Paul McCartney, not a U.S. citizen. U2, the band, not U.S. citizens. But Bad Bunny, U.S. citizen. So I love how people try to play it like this is like a Like all of a sudden, everybody has this patriotism running through their veins. Yep, The Weeknd, that's a Canadian. Yeah, shout out to Justin Jackson, Canadian. I love how these people are trying to push patriotism on the people and making it seem like the reason why they're so against Bad Bunny playing is not because they don't want a Spanish speaker, performing at the halftime show, but it's because we're America first, and we need American people performing at the halftime performance because this is the American sport. Cut the fucking bullshit. I ain't hear none of y'all complaining when U2 was performing. I ain't hear nobody complaining when The Weeknd was performing. I ain't hear nobody complain when Shakira was performing and shit. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be complaining either. But I'm not complaining about Bad Bunny performing. Not at all. Not at all. Shout out to, let me see, Forever Runway Fashion Line 448 with the $2 super chat. He said, Playboy Cardi needs to perform at next year's Super Bowl. Absolutely not, brother, but thank you for your $2 super chat. Don't nobody want to see trash-ass Playboy Cardi performing anywhere, to be honest with you, let alone the motherfucking Super Bowl. But if anybody deserves to performing at the Super Bowl, it is Mr. Christopher Brown. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
But anyways, we're not going to get too deep into that shit, pause. You know what I'm saying? And Bella Face said J-Lo and Shakira, that was trash. Well, listen, man, I don't know. I don't even remember those performances. I've honestly never been a big football fan, and I didn't really even care too much that Bad Bunny was performing. You know why? Because I don't even speak Spanish that well. I don't know if anybody's ever peeped. Do I understand Spanish? Yes. I do understand Spanish. Do I speak it the best? No. Was I born in Puerto Rico? No. But Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. Go check the stats. So them putting up one of the biggest artists in the world on a platform like the Super Bowl, why doesn't that make sense? So, that was my whole thing about it, right? So I could really care less about what Jake Paul prefers, but what's so stupid is you're pretty much talking shit about going against big corporations. Bro, you're literally tweeting on a platform that's owned by a billionaire, you fucking idiot. You see what I'm saying? So you're literally tweeting on a big corporation's a billionaire that has a big corporation. You're talking on his platform. You do business with multiple big corporations. So all of a sudden you want to stand up against them because we got a Spanish-speaking motherfucker having a performance on the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Is it really that serious? It's really not. But like I said, that's his prerogative. He want to go watch bum-ass Kid Rock perform and had that, unseasoned ass show. That's on him. But my whole thing, and yeah, Elon's not from the U.S. neither. That's a great point. You see what I'm saying? And Bella Faye just brought up a great point. A great point. There's gonna be complaints every year. They ain't even complain about K-Dot and he was fired, bro. They complain about 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg performing. So this is obviously not. Oh, man, man, I'm white, man. I don't listen to no 50 Cent. I don't be in the club. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they, man, I don't relate to that. I don't want to listen to that gangster rap. I don't listen to that gangster rap. Where's to go bring up the book. Where's Kid Rock? Seriously, man. Where's Billy Ray Cyrus? Where's Billy Ray Cyrus? Oh my God, where's Bruce Springsteen? He needs to perform again. Like, cut it the fuck out. You see what I'm saying? Forever Runway Fashion Line 448 with a $5 super chat. Salute, brother. You really carrying these super chats on your back tonight. He said, who will be the king of the hill out of Devin, Shakur, and Keyshawn? Well, there's only one way to find out, to be honest, Runway. But I think it's definitely going to be between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. You know why? Because Keyshawn, somebody who tried to put a $2 million price tag on a fight with Richardson Hitchens, isn't going to take this fight with Devin Haney anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? He was calling him out in his last fight, and within 48 hours, he was talking about fighting Lewis Crocker instead. You can't believe, clout chasers like Keyshawn Davis. Look phenomenal against Jermaine Ortiz. I can't lie to you. But I don't really think that he believes in himself to take them big shots yet. That's just my opinion. Because when you asking for $2 million for Richardson Hitchens, it's like, imagine what you would ask for Devin Haney. So he said that him fighting Devin would have to make business sense. So you already know what that is lingo for. Price, asking for a crazy price that everybody knows you're not worth. But anyways, it's definitely going to be between Devin and Shakur. And honestly, I like Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson is the more skilled fighter. I think he's the better inside fighter. I do think he has I think Devin Haney has a better jab. But I just think all around the board, I think Shakur Stevenson is more skilled. I think he has more tools in his toolbox. I do think that Devin's got fast feet, fast hands, great jab, great championship level experience. But I think that the fight will play pretty similar to their sparring sessions. And I know that was years ago, but I do think that Shakur Stevenson is just a little bit better than Devin Haney. That's just my opinion. But maybe if the fight happens at 47, size will play a part. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that additional weight could hurt Shakur Stevenson. I think he understands that, which is why he's trying to put rehydration clauses on Devin Haney. So to be honest with you, I don't even think that fight happens anytime soon. That's just my opinion. Did I get a chance to pick Bill's brain? No, bro. I was so locked in on my fighters. We did shake hands. We did speak to each other. And we took a picture together, obviously, from what y'all saw, but we didn't get into much of a conversation. We spoke in the DMs a little bit too, but I didn't get to really pick his brain. He was in his coaching mode. I was in my coaching mode. So, you know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, and this ain't no disrespect to nobody, I would rather focus on my fighters than focus on, somebody else. That's just me. I was in my coaching bag. He was in his coaching bag. His concern was his son winning. My business was my fighters winning. So, I wasn't able to sit down and converse with him. And after his son won, he left. So, that was all that really was to it. He didn't stay for the whole show. It would have been dope to see him the whole show, but I understand he got other, obligations to take care of. You know what I'm saying? That's an active father. You feel me? Is Bill coming on the show? That's something that I will present later on. Definitely. I would love to, I could definitely get within contact with him. So, I'm going to try to make that work. Absolutely. I got his information. All I got to do is ask the question and see what he say. But, yeah, that's just me. Shakur Stevenson. I mean, listen, I think if it's at 47, I would probably favor Dev a little bit more. But it's going to be interesting to see how Shakur Stevenson, how does he neutralize Devin Haney's jab? Because I haven't really seen anybody do it yet. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be pretty interesting. And how is Shakur going to be? How is Devin going to be able to? How is he going to approach Shakur? Is he going to have more of an aggressive style? Is he going to try to box Shakur? Because a lot of times when we seen people try to box Shakur, it don't really turn out too well. XTO. And I understand that Devin's a superior boxer. He's, more intelligent fighter in my opinion and all that. So I think it's going to be a great chess match, man. Somebody's going to have to be the aggressor in the fight for sure. And considering that Dev is the bigger fighter, he may be the one to do that. But him being aggressive may play into Shakur's hands. He might be able to time him with some shots coming in. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to play some good body shots when Devin Haney, closes the gap. You know what I'm saying? He may disrupt Devin Haney's offense with a good jab. That's a great fight, man. That's a great fight. But Devin Haney does really well with southpaws too. So we'll see. That's a great fight, man. That's truly a 50-50 to be honest with you. So shout out to the homie with the $5 super chat for sure. Shout out to Runway. But anyways, let's get back to this topic with Jake Paul, because I didn't even get to finish saying what I wanted to say. And I know probably a lot of people don't care because they're not Puerto Rican, so who gives a fuck? But me, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm going to speak on the situation because I thought this was totally out of line. I thought this shit was uncalled for, to be honest with you, and very, very disrespectful. And what's just so ironic about this is that, Jake Paul, like I said, I don't really give a fuck about his perspective on the halftime show. If you want to go watch that junkie Kid Rock perform and play them booty-ass songs that nobody give a fuck about because you're too fucking racist to, take the opportunity to try to give a Spanish-speaking artist an opportunity, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? If you're that against Spanish-speaking people, so be it. Have a fucking blast, bro. You feel me? If you identify more with a fucking bum-ass junkie like Kid Rock, fuck it. It is what it is. But what really triggered me, I ain't gonna lie to you, is you know, Jake Paul going out of his way to call Bad Bunny a fake American citizen who publicly hates America. I cannot support that. So this is Jake Paul attempting to come off as like a patriotic person. But let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you exactly why this is racist. I'm going to tell you exactly why this is racist. Because first of all, Bad Bunny's an American just like you. He's an American just like you. Was Bad Bunny born in Puerto Rico? Yes. But Puerto Rico is U.S. territory. And whoever is born in Puerto Rico is a U.S. citizen off rip. So the fact that you know that. And you know that. And what's so ironic is you're currently living in Puerto Rico to avoid paying American taxes. So you're this patriotic dude that puts America first, but you live in Puerto Rico in order to save money and not pay that government, which you should be paying them. Am I right or am I wrong? No, obviously Jake Paul doesn't feel Puerto Rican, Teach, because he's calling Puerto Ricans fake Americans. Fake American citizens. Because why else would you call Bad Bunny that? Because he's exercising. See, so we could look at it. Let's look at it from both sides of the coin. He's either calling Bad Bunny a fake American citizen because he's from Puerto Rico, or he's calling him a fake American citizen because he hates America. You can hate America and still be a U.S. citizen. So that doesn't even fucking make sense. And what do you mean that Bad Bunny hates America? Because he's exercising his First Amendment right to use his freedom of speech in order to speak on injustices that's going on in his country and within his race of people, within the Latino community with ICE and all that bullshit. Is that why he's a fake? Is that why he hates America? He's literally using the rights that was granted to him by the U.S. Constitution. So because he's using rights that you use on a regular basis, he hates America. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, right? So then let's look at what Jake Paul got going on. For somebody who thinks of Puerto Ricans as fake American citizens, you literally call yourself El Gallo de Dorado. Dorado is a fucking borough in Puerto Rico, the place where Jake Paul lives. You are the gallo. That translates to like the rooster. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in Puerto Rico, the rooster represents like bravery, strength. You know what I'm saying? Like machismo, like courageous and all that. You see what I'm saying? So this is what he chose to call himself. He didn't have to call himself that. You feel what I'm saying? He called himself that. He's going around waving Puerto Rican flags during promotions of his fights. He's dealing with Amanda Serrano, who is a Puerto Rican female fighter. You have multiple fighters that are Puerto Rican that you got signed under the MVP label. You just signed Leanna Cruz. That's a Puerto Rican woman, from what I understand. You want to know how I know? I used to work with Leanna Cruz when she was upcoming as a professional boxer. So I know these things. You see what I'm saying? So you're going around here telling motherfuckers that they're fake U.S. citizens because they're Puerto Rican or because they, quote unquote, hate America. What fucking sense does that make either way? Either way, you're dead wrong, brother. And for somebody who lives in Puerto Rico, trains in Puerto Rico, profits off of Puerto Rico, you literally have a nonprofit organization that renovates boxing gyms all around Puerto Rico. For somebody who has a lot of disrespectful shit to say about Puerto Ricans, you sure do spend a lot of time and, you know, being a part of their culture, doing a whole lot to attempt to be accepted by the community. So this just lets me know that Jake Paul doesn't show up for Puerto Rico out of the love of his heart or because he really fucks with Puerto Rico. He simply goes to Puerto Rico as a fucking culture vulture, for one. And we already knew that because he was even a culture vulture in the sport of boxing. But you showed that you only fuck with Puerto Rico on a conditional level, and that conditional thing is monetary gain. Get Jake Paul and his fucking him and his ugly ass Olympian bitch the fuck up out of Puerto Rico. Fuck his brother Logan Paul, because he had a lot. He had some slick shit to say about Bad Bunny too. So you know what I'm saying? The shoe fit both of y'all fuck niggas. Fuck both of y'all. Get the fuck out of boxing. Jake Paul, you doing a whole lot of talking for a nigga whose jaw is currently broke right now. You need to shut the fuck up and worry about healing, brother. You right. Don't watch the halftime show. Go stay on your liquid diet, you bitch ass nigga. Yeah, you're in Puerto Rico for tax benefits, aka tax breaks, aka avoiding paying the government when you're so-called this America first dude. If you're this America first type motherfucker, then won't you do what most U.S. citizens do? And that's hold they fucking nuts up for one and pay their motherfucking taxes. How about that? Why don't you go move? Because they always tell us that, right? Oh, if you're not happy with what's going on, won't you leave? Won't you get out of our country? If you don't like Puerto Ricans so much and you look at them as fake American citizens, won't you pack your shit and your broken jaw kit and all that bullshit and get the fuck up out of here, bro? You got money. You can afford the taxes. Go move to Utah. Go move to Tennessee. Go move within the 50 states. If you like it, if you like being in the tropics, motherfucker, go to Florida or go to Hawaii, nigga. Get the fuck up out of here. Like go wherever you don't your skin don't burn at. You pink bastard. Fuck Bad Bunny. I mean, not Bad Bunny. I'm sorry. We love Bad Bunny. Fuck Jake Paul. Fuck Logan Paul. Shit. I was about to say fuck Chris Paul, but he ain't one of them pink people, so we straight. I was about to say fuck whoever got Paul attached to their name. Fuck Jake. Simple and plain. You over here talking shit about U.S. people, say Puerto Ricans talking about they're fake American citizens. Whole time you live in Puerto Rico because you're trying to avoid what all Americans are supposed to do. Pay their fucking taxes. You fucking piece of shit. That was the uncensored version of how I really feel. You feel me? It's really that simple. Very disrespectful from Jake Paul. But one thing about our oppressors, though, when they're not able to run you from a systematic standpoint, they always find a way to express how they truly feel. They can't hide it. They can't hide it. When they're not in a position of power, like how they were in a position to say who and who not is going to perform at the Super Bowl halftime performance, they always expose who they truly are. The whole narrative that's been pushed this whole time that Bad Bunny has been selected to perform at the Super Bowl. Oh, he's not a U.S. citizen. He's not a U.S. citizen because he doesn't speak English. He's not a U.S. citizen. How can y'all speak so ignorantly when you literally have ChatGPT at your fingertips? When you literally have Google, you have all these different search engines that you could easily type into and they could provide you accurate information. But you choose to be dumb instead of being resourceful. That is what you call an ignorant motherfucker, bro. Yes, Master G, that's what I'm saying. You promote Puerto Rican fighters. You wave Puerto Rican flags around. He literally had a fucking rooster on the top of his head one time, like a fake rooster, like a hat, just like this. But it was a fucking rooster sitting on top of his head, which is a Puerto Rican, a symbol, a symbolic, part of Puerto Rican culture, the rooster. You see what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I just got a text from somebody important. Hold on. That's some wild shit. That was an important person, but that wasn't an important message. But anyways, Jake showed his true colors. Exactly. So since you feel like that, I wonder how Amanda Serrano feels about that. I wonder how the people that train at your facilities, I wonder how, that you renovated, the facilities that you renovated through your nonprofit, I wonder how they feel about that. And you probably only renovated those gyms because, at the end of the day, at the end of the year when you file, or the beginning of the year when you filing your taxes, you could write them Johns off. You know what I'm saying? You could come home with a little bit more money at the end of the day. Everything that you've done for the island was never off of the love. It was never off of your generosity. It was simply for a monetary gain. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you exposed who you truly are, because you was playing this character like, oh man, you know, I love Puerto Rico, man. It's like a second home. Miss me with the bullshit, cuz. I hope Puerto Rico holds you accountable for that shit. And, you know, Puerto Rico finessed you anyway, you fucking dummy, because that house that you bought in Puerto Rico, from what I heard, this is alleged, was a lot less than what you paid for it. But at the end of the day, you probably don't fucking care, because, you know, you probably was saving a lot more than what you bought in a house on Texas at the end of the year because you lived there. You know what I'm saying? It probably worked out for you. But you are a piece of shit. You need to be attending to your injuries that you're still dealing with, since Anthony Joshua knocked your shit loose. And I hope every fight that you have afterwards, if you even continue fighting, results in a similar fashion or even worse that you had with Anthony Joshua. Just saying. I was rocking with and I was giving you hella credit too. Like, I was like, yo, bro, I don't really fuck with Jake Paul as a boxer, but I love what he's doing as a promoter, you know, what he's doing for Puerto Rico. I've said that on multiple occasions. But considering the fact that you truly showed how you feel about Puerto Ricans, there's nothing really to like about you no more. So fuck you. And it's really that simple. Y'all always show y'all true colors, man. When y'all not in a position of power to run things or oppress people systematically, y'all always seem to throw these temper tantrums, man. And you know, stop making it seem like y'all only protesting or y'all against it because he speaks Spanish and y'all speak English. Listen, y'all had the same problem when Kendrick Lamar was performing. You had the same problem when 50 Cent was performing. You had the same problem when Snoop Dogg was performing. Just call it what the fuck it is. Y'all don't want no black or brown people on that stage because y'all rather see y'all own up there. Just keep it real. Just keep it real. Stop acting like y'all. What y'all do is, and Colin Kaepernick said this shit a while back. Y'all really be acting. Y'all be disguising racism behind patriotism. And this is a pure example of that. And just like them fucking them pink people be telling us whenever we not satisfied with something that's going on where we live, why don't you just go to your fucking country? Why don't you just go there? You don't like what's going on, right? Why don't you just go there? If you truly have a disdain towards Puerto Rican people, go back to America, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? Million Film said a Haitian that speaks Spanish here, man. Shout out to my Haitian brothers and sisters, man. You know what I mean? It's one love. Salute. I love it. I love it. Shout out to my Haitians. Shout out to my Dominican people. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody, man. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't no hate in my heart for nobody, but you know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers say goofy shit like that, Master G, who you speaking on specifically? Just let me know before I reply to your comment. Bella Face said, why would folks believe Jake Paul ever cared about PR or truly represented PR? And he's not the only boxer faking. Well, we're going to stick to the topic, Bella. We're going to stick to the topic. But if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, at least in his bloodline, he's actually Puerto Rican. So he could do that. He could represent Puerto Rico because that's who he came from. He came from a Puerto Rican man. If we're talking about the same person. You feel what I mean? But shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. That's all I really had to say about that particular subject. You said Kid Rock and his crew are biggest. Well, I agree with you 1,000%, Master G. That was a beautiful comment. He said nobody wants to see these untalented biggest perform. Clearly the racists do. They rather watch. They're so filled with hate and they're so filled with hatred and prejudice that they rather listen to unseasoned music in comparison to one of the biggest artists in the world right now. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, Puerto Rico, hold y'all head up, man. You see what I'm saying? Don't let this man's words discourage y'all, make y'all feel no type of way. He just exposed who he truly was. And we knew that he was like that the whole time, but I'm glad that he went up on his platform. And clearly he's standing on what he's saying because he hasn't deleted that tweet yet. You see what I mean? And people holding him accountable. He says, So Christine Villaverde says calling Puerto Ricans fake American is discriminatory nonsense. They've been U.S. citizens since 1917. So if you need a civics lesson to understand that geography and language don't determine who's really American, that says more about your ignorance than their authenticity. Facts. Swaggy C says, my nigga, you live in Puerto Rico near Hanger Park inside Dorado Beach for X60, and you're complaining that a fake American citizen is performing? No, Dorado Beach should kick you out, and Puerto Rico should revoke your X60 privileges. This is bullshit. I can't believe you're saying this. You literally profit and save money on taxes from living in Puerto Rico, and you're complaining that a Puerto Rican is performing at the Super Bowl? For someone who lived in Dorado Beach for 3+ years, this is idiotic. Oh my God, Lou DeBella. Oh, even Lou DeBella snapped. He said, MAGA, another grifter. What in the MAGA hypocritical fuck? God damn. He said, you live in Puerto Rico, Jake. Why you do is your business, but you talk about loving it there, and you represent Puerto Rico's greatest ever in women's boxing, one of America's greatest female fighters. Let me see. And I think Lou DeBella actually promoted Amanda for a while. I could be wrong. One of America's greatest female fighters. You're boycotting Benito, a brilliant artist because he's a Puerto Rican and American. Bad Bunny is a bigger star than you or anyone that thinks like you. Fuck out of here with this shit, fool. Man, shout out to Lou DeBella. God damn, I love when white people call out other white people for their bullshit. Man, I love that shit, man. Shout out to Lou DeBella. Oh my God.
Are you embarrassed by this?
Who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self.
God damn, man. Shout out to Lou DeBella. Let's see. Somebody wrote, you got beat the fuck up, nigga. Shut up. And Netflix told you Bad Bunny was going to walk you out at your next ass whooping. You will be waving a PR flag on command. Facts. He would have been embracing that role 100%. Especially if Netflix told him, he would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, that benefits me monetarily. Yeah, sure. Fucking piece of shit. I'm so glad you exposed who you was, you fucking goofy. We knew the whole time, and we've been calling you. One of the realest things Tyron Woodley ever said was that he was a culture vulture. I know that shit stuck with Jake Paul for a long time. Like, yeah, you beat him and all that, but I know them words stuck with you, and you've been trying your best to not, be called that and all of that, but goddamn. Jake Paul, the next time you have a fight, bro, the media gonna hold your feet to the motherfucking fire. I hope them Puerto Rican media outlets pull up on your bitch ass and make you explain yourself, you hoe ass nigga. I hope they do. I hope they do. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, we're gonna transition on to the next topic, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to the 29 people that's in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the champ. And you the joke.
Absolutely. So let's transition on to the next topic, a topic that I find to be very interesting as well. Shout out to the Ring Magazine for posting this article because this may create some tension between the brothers. This may cause some static between the brothers. So for those of y'all who haven't been, up to date with what's going on with the boxing world, let me present this to you. Shout out to the Ring Magazine for putting together this article right here. And it shows Shakur Stevenson. It shows Keyshawn Davis. And this looks like a picture that was taken in the lead up to the Shakur Stevenson Robinson Conceição fight. And it says WBO makes Keyshawn Davis #1 contender for Shakur Stevenson's belt. Wow. I ain't gonna lie. I did not see this coming, but shout out to the WBO for putting pressure on the brothers to attempt to fight each other. And the article goes, and who actually wrote this? Keith Idek. Shout out to Keith Idek for the article. It says Shakur Stevenson received some more disruptive news from a sanctioning organization. And when he says more disruptive news, he's talking about what had happened previously with the WBC stripper Shakur Stevenson for not paying them $100K when he literally fought for a sanctioning body that wasn't the WBC. WBC wasn't involved. They wanted money. Shakur said, fuck out of here. They stripped him as a result of that. So now the belt that he actually holding on to at 140, his brother is about to be the #1 contender for his belt. Now it says, let's see where we start. A few days after the WBC stripped Stevenson of his lightweight title, the WBO installed his close friend, brother, Keyshawn Davis, As its #1 contender for the junior welterweight title, Stevenson won from Teofimo Lopez January 31st in Madison Square Garden in New York. Davis defeated Jermaine Ortiz by 12-round knockout in the co-feature of the Ring 6 card just before Stevenson's masterful performance against Lopez. Stevenson, 28, and Davis, 26, consider each other family and have reportedly stated over the past few years that they'll never fight, no matter how much money they're offered. They trained together in Las Vegas for their respective victories over Lopez and Ortiz, and Stevenson expressed how proud he is of Davis during his post-fight press conference. The WBO did not order Stevenson to fight Davis next, however, and he doesn't have a mandatory defense due. It therefore appears he isn't in danger of being stripped of his WBO belt anytime soon for not facing Davis next. So let's not get it misconstrued, people. They did not order Shakur Stevenson to fight Keyshawn Davis. They did not mandate him to fight Keyshawn Davis, none of that. But what they did do was position Keyshawn Davis to be the #1 contender for Shakur Stevenson's belt. Now, if we heard Shakur Stevenson talk in the past, he actually told you exactly what his intentions were going to be. And that was beat Teofimo Lopez for the belt, vacate it, and go back down to 135 pounds. Does seem like his tone has switched a bit since then. He said that he'll stick around if there was a big fight, or even move up to 47 if there's a big fight. If somebody wants to do a rehydration clause, he's all for that. But it seems like his mind is more open to other opportunities outside of 35 since his victory. Now, do I think that Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis are going to fight anytime soon? Absolutely not. But this right here, if not approached correctly by these so-called brothers, could definitely create some tension between the two. Because let's say hypothetically, Shakur Stevenson like, I ain't letting go of this belt. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where the WBO is going to order Shakur Stevenson to fight that #1 guy. Now, who walks away from that is going to be perceived as the duck, right? So let's say it's a situation where Keyshawn like, yo, I'm moving up to 47. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to go champion. I'm going to go challenge the WBO champion up there, Devin Haney. It's going to look like Keyshawn Davis avoided the smoke, and he may face some criticism as a result of that. If, on the other side, Shakur Stevenson goes ahead and he vacates that title, right, and goes back down to 35, it's going to look like he moved down to avoid a fight with Keyshawn Davis. Either way, the person that initiates the first, who does the first move, is going to be criticized negatively as a result of their actions. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what's going to create some tension between the two. And I do look at Keyshawn Davis as being emotionally unstable. And I do think if you push the right buttons with Keyshawn Davis, you could definitely get him into some negative emotions. And as a result of that, he could disrespect people that are close to him. And for what I understand, Keyshawn and Shakur, even though they never expressed it publicly, have had issues in the past. I just remember not too long ago, Keyshawn calling Shakur a weirdo for being friends with Richardson Hitchens again. So it's not an impossible thing to get these guys going against each other. You see what I'm saying? My boy Anonymous in the building, he said, these two clowns ain't fighting. Keyshawn is the underdog. He'll probably fold and go another route. I mean, he's been taking the little bro approach, not just from being younger than Shakur, but just from a move standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like when when Shakur Stevenson was champion in the division, at the same time as him, you know what I mean? Keyshawn left the, he moved up to the weight first. Even though they both made their 140 debuts at the same time, Keyshawn left the division first and was exploring opportunities at 140 first. When Shakur, Keyshawn Davis was the one who was supposedly chasing Teofimo Lopez, and when Teofimo Lopez fought Shakur instead, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, Teo scared to death of me. Shakur gonna do the job. And he was just so happy that his big brother took his opportunity. You see what I'm saying? So he's really the little bro, not only from an age standpoint, but from a man standpoint as well. He's literally the little nigga in the relationship. Now, will Shakur do the same thing for Keyshawn? I think the fuck not. I don't think that Shakur Stevenson would take a step back for anybody else to shine in his division. I don't think that he would take a step back and let somebody get an opportunity over him. I just look at Shakur Stevenson as being too much of a competitor to have somebody get one up on him and him just being okay with it. I don't see that happening. See what I'm saying? So for runway back with the $2 super chat, man. He gave 3 super chats in a row. Man, shout out to the brother for supporting. Now he says, you rather fight like Keyshawn or Shakur? It's a great question. I would definitely rather, because I'm big on hitting and not getting hit. And to be honest, I think Keyshawn has pretty solid defense. He's definitely not the easiest to hit. But based off of their attributes, I would rather be Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson has great defense. He has a good jab. He has great timing as well. He understands, distance really well. And as a result of that, he's able to hit motherfuckers clean and not be hit and, in return. You know what I'm saying? His ring IQ is great. He fights on the inside well. He can fight at long range. You know what I'm saying? He's just a well-versed kid. Is he the biggest? Is he a bigger puncher than Keyshawn? I don't believe so, but I think he's more intelligent, and I'd rather be the more intelligent fighter than the bigger puncher. Not saying that Keyshawn's dumb. I just don't look at him as on the level from an intelligence standpoint. On the same intelligence level as a Shakur Stevenson. I don't think they're the same from an intelligence standpoint at all. So that's just what I think personally. But it is what it is. I would rather, to answer your question, Runway, I would rather be Shakur. If I had to choose, I don't want to be anybody. I'm a grown ass man. Let's make that very clear. I love being me. I love my life. I love everything that I got going on. I'm very blessed. But if I had to choose who I'd rather fight like, it'll be Shakur Stevenson. Agent 86 in the building said it'd be funny if Keyshawn goes back down to 135 for the WBC. That might be the weirdest shit that I've ever seen in my life. If Keyshawn blatantly goes back down to 35 to avoid smoke with Shakur Stevenson, when you blatantly said you couldn't make the weight no more, when you miss weight against Edwin De Los Santos, you're gonna look like you scared of your brother for one, and then it's gonna show that you blatantly ducked Edwin De Los Santos. And we already feel like you ducked Edwin De Los Santos, but that'll just put the stamp on it, in my opinion. So, yeah, man, let's continue reading. Let's see if there's anything else to read. I don't think there's anything else outside of that. So basically, the WBO is pretty much setting up Keyshawn Davis to be the #1 contender for Shakur Stevenson's title. Maybe it's because there was something already worked out behind the scenes where Shakur will be vacating that belt. And once he vacates that belt, Keyshawn Davis will be fighting for the vacant belt. You know what I'm saying? That's a possibility. Or maybe the WBO is trying to get these brothers to fight each other. Who knows? Do I think that they fight as a result of this? Absolutely not. I just think that Shakur Stevenson would rather use Keyshawn Davis in order to continue sharpening up. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. As a boxing coach, there are fighters that I know that, probably will never compete and stuff like that, but I keep them around to keep my other guys sharp. You feel what I'm saying? Like there's guys that be in and out of the gym, they be consistent, or they just want to train. They don't really want to compete. You know what I mean? So once I get that vibe, I'm like, all right, like I'll still work with you, but I'm going to use you as a tool to sharpen up the guys who actually want to compete. And, it may be a situation where it's like, I'm going to keep Keyshawn close because he actually helps me get to the next level. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to use him as a catalyst to sharpen up my skills and things of that nature. Like, I just don't feel, I feel like I think they're being a bit misleading. And I don't know what their relationship is, but I don't think that they're that fucking close, bro. Like, I just don't believe that shit. Like, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, Shakur has been friends with many people and still have fought them. Like, I remember him saying him and Jamel Herring was friends, but, it was business and all that shit. But somehow, some way, Keyshawn Davis just is the exception to that rule. It's just something very weird, bro. Like, I can't relate to that at all. And if y'all really brothers, how y'all claim y'all are, why don't y'all fight each other? and make some money together to go ahead and continue providing for your families and still maintain your relationship. There's plenty of people who fought and maintained their relationship after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when Tevin Farmer fought John O'Carroll, and they hated each other in the beginning, but after they fought, they went out to the city and got a cheesesteak together. I remember that clear as day. And they wasn't friends when they first met. You know what I'm saying? They was able to hash things out and become cool and even spar after the fact and shit like that. So why y'all can't do that? Are y'all just not mature emotionally enough to get past that, regardless of whether there's a winner or a loser? Like, what's the problem? It just sounds like y'all don't really want to go through it. Y'all done sparred each other so much that y'all really don't want to deal with each other because it's like y'all both bad style matchups for each other. What is the problem? Malik Scott versus Wilder. That's another great one. Shout out to Justin Jackson for that. They was best friends and they fought each other. And then Malik Scott went on to coach Wilder for a few fights. So I'm trying to, like, y'all acting like this is just such an impossible thing to do. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I feel like Shakur may be just using Keyshawn to, you know, continue sharpening up his skills and shit like that. Maybe Keyshawn really doesn't want to deal with Shakur, so he's playing that best friend role with him. Like, I don't know, bro. I really don't know. It's something, though. Their camps are too intertwined. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They don't got the same coaches. You know, Keyshawn Davis said he created his own coaching staff. Shakur Stevenson has his own coaching staff with Wally Moses, Rasheem Jefferson, and a few other people that's involved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they had the same manager, but, you know, there's been managers that had their fighters fight each other plenty of times. Al Heyman's this advisor, right? Al Heyman advised 1,000,001 fighters and then had his fighters fight each other for the big bread many times. So it's like, there's really no excuse for that neither. Y'all camps are too intertwined. You got your own coaching staff. He got his own coaching staff. Y'all could train in separate areas and get ready to fight each other. There's no excuse. There's really no excuse. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this all works out. You know what I'm saying? Hassan, 7 fighter in the building. He said Shakur already admitted he would need a certain amount of money to fight Keyshawn, so it could happen. Yeah, but he said a number that he said 500 million a piece. Like, come on, dog. Like, y'all ain't nobody walking this earth gonna put $1 billion up for one fight. Like, so y'all just saying shit at this point. I ain't never see 2 fighters be worth $500 million at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, motherfuckers just started getting 9 figures like a few years ago. So ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. I mean, Justin, you said you don't see them fighting. Me neither. But it's just like, come on, man. Like, y'all keep finding each other in the same division. So what? Like, when one motherfucker do something, you gonna do the same thing? Like, bro, stay the fuck out each other way then. Stay the fuck out each other way. If y'all don't want to fight, stay out each other way, man. It's really simple as a motherfucker, bro. Y'all don't want to fight. Like with Jermell and Jamal, I would never support them fighting because they actually came from the same womb. They're twin brothers, same mother, same father. I would never support that. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? They was at the same division at the same time. Guess what happened? One moved up, one stayed. That gets rid of that problem right there. The Klitschko's, they was both heavyweights, right? They blood brothers, same mother, same father, from what I understand. Vitaly and Vladimir. They promised their mother that they would never fight each other, as they should. Because that's actual blood, not niggas who met each other when they was double ditches and be like, you know what? You're my brother. And just went on to live like they actually biologically related or something. No, that's not the case at all. Vitaly had that WBC title. Vladimir had the rest of the titles, and they went on to, dominate in separate rooms. And then when Vitaly retired, Vladimir carried the torch for the remainder of his career. You see what I'm saying? So those are subtle differences. No, huge differences, not subtle, huge differences. You know what I mean? Like, y'all came up, y'all had a good portion of y'all life where y'all didn't know each other. So I don't want to hear this shit that y'all brothers and it's just impossible for y'all to fight it. Y'all just gotta, I ain't gonna lie, y'all got a weird dynamic, cuz. Really weird dynamic. Trick said Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas were also friends. Facts. And they fought each other at 147 a few years back. Mikey won. I bet you him and Jesse are still great friends. I'm willing to bet that. Key was in the trenches with him. Man, nigga, one was from Newark and one was from Virginia, bro. Like, cut it out. And by the time they met, Shakur was probably already like on the come up. Like, he probably was already ranked in the nation and won all these national titles. Like, you was already an established motherfucker when you met Key, bro. You was already going somewhere. Like, bro, I'll never get it. I will never get it. Keyshawn said Shakur helped him not off himself. Rolly said he helped Teofimo Lopez not off himself, and Teofimo, you know, called him out the fight. And posted sparring, and, you know, they don't fuck with each other no more. You know, Teofimo posted a sparring session of him beating up Rolly and shit like that, acting like he want all the smoke with him. So it's like, come on, bro. They met when they were 13. Oh, my God. Not when they were preteens. Not when they were young teenagers. Get the fuck out of here, man. That should just show that neither one of them want to see each other do better than the other. That's how I take it. That's how I take it. They don't want to see each other outdo each other. Go ask Shakur who the best at 140. I bet you he ain't gonna say Keyshawn. Ask Keyshawn who the best at 140. I bet you he ain't gonna say Shakur. They don't rock with each other that much. Oh, no. Trick said at this point, what's more likely to happen, Jamel versus Jamal or Shakur versus Keyshawn? Great fucking question. I heard Jamel say he will never fight his brother. All I think, bro, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I just think I think it takes only one falling out for Keyshawn and Shakur to rumble. Swear to God. Swear to God. That's all it takes. Keyshawn too emotional, Shakur too competitive. They gonna clash every time. You just need somebody. You just need to get Keyshawn emotional, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Somebody need to instigate this shit, bro. Fuck all this brother shit, bro. I can say that brother shit from when y'all after y'all fight, you know what I'm saying, and all that good shit. And I ain't talking about them fighting each other because I hate them or anything like that. It's because they both talented. They have a lot of ability. They have a lot of potential. Who's going to outshine the other? Because at the end of the day, the cream always going to rise to the top. And how are we going to know who that is? They have to fight each other. They have to beat each other. Like, it's that simple. Like, if Keyshawn want to go ahead and just go to 47 and go there, then do that. But stay out each other way. Y'all getting upset that we keep asking for this fight, but y'all stay in each other way. Like, y'all was both at 35. Of course, we're going to ask for that fight. Y'all both undefeated champions in the same division. Why wouldn't we ask for that fight? Now, one guy's at 140. They made their 140 debuts at the same time. Why are you upset that people are asking for the fight? Bud even said they should fight. I didn't even hear Bud say that, but I believe him. You know why? Because he be with the shits and he too competitive to shine with another nigga in his division. That's the truth. And it's, you know, he was cool friends. They said Terrence Crawford was really good friends with Sean Porter. Guess what? He beat him. And I'm sure Porter felt the same way about Crawford, but when they mandated him through the WBO to face each other, he took it. Shakur said that he got all his sparring sessions on his iPad. We need somebody to get that iPad off of Shakur. Everybody. We need somebody to go over to Texas and get Shakur Stevenson's iPad. And we need to leak all of his sparring sessions online. I'm calling somebody to do it. Now, that may be very dangerous considering it's Texas. And they got some crazy laws over there. But if anybody's able to get Shakur Stevenson's iPad, please get it done. They talking about hack his iCloud. That's crazy. I don't want to see nothing I don't want to see. I just want the sparring sessions, brother. I know as men, we could have some crazy shit going on our camera rolls, but let's, you know what I mean? We get that shit out the way, and let's get them sparring. That's all I need. Nigga said Shakur files. Y'all niggas tripping. I remember Zai Quinn. I remember I told y'all Zai Quinn DM me. Zai Quinn DM me. Because they like real sensitive about like sparring tapes and shit. Because Wally Moses posted one of Shakur's sparring sessions where he had stopped this kid, you know, this international boxer, some boxer from overseas. Shakur like stopped him. And I posted it on MAZUMA TV. Zai Quinn hit me up. Yo, where'd you get that footage from? Nigga, why you worried about it? Nigga, fuck out of here. He like, oh, like we get your channel taken down. So you gonna tell? Man, I'm just trying to get you to delete the video, bro. I said, what, Shakur fell away about it? Oh, Shakur's sitting right next to me. I said, well, put him on the phone. No, we don't want to talk to you. All right, get the fuck out of my DM then, little nigga. Fuck wrong with you, nigga? Fuck over here trying. Niggas just be so cool being little niggas. Like I never been like that. I never wanted to be somebody young boy. I never wanted to be nobody little brother, bro. Like I'm not even trying to be like and I know I have been the big brother for a lot of people, and you know that's a great role to take on, and I'm honored. But I put everybody on the same level as me. Like, I don't be calling nobody little bro. I call you bro, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm being like a little too like specific with the word and shit like that. But me personally, like I don't call like, yo, what's up, little bro? Like I don't do that. Like I call everybody bro. I don't want you to call me little bro. You know what I mean? I don't call you little bro. I put you on the same level as me. Like I don't be with all that extra shit, bro. Like I don't be trying to downplay nobody or act like niggas gotta be under my wing. You don't have to be under my wing. I actually want you to grow your own pair. You feel me? Like, niggas would be so cool being little niggas. Shakur, and I asked Shakur on Jagar Talk. If he remember that, he said, I don't even know what you talking about, brother. So it's like this nigga Zai Quinn just going out of his way to be this nigga's like security or like his lawyer. Like, man, you get your little ugly ass on my face, nigga. Fuck you in my DM for, nigga. Go ahead with your little ugly ass. Go solidify your own legacy instead of being under your cousin's nutsack, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Over here caping for your Puerto Rican cousin, nigga. Cut it out. Nigga name Zaybop. Like, what? You know what bop mean in Philly? Man, go ahead, bro. Zaybop. Like, nigga, you thought, what the fuck? Sir, do you know what bop, B-O-P means in Philly? It's not a good thing, especially if you a man. Shit is crazy. Yeah, that nigga's out clean. I forgot how the way the rest of the conversation went. I'm like, bro, your fucking grandfather posted it, you fucking dummy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why don't, go talk to your grandfather like that. Go tell your grandfather to take it down. We said Trump crashed out over Bad Bunny's halftime show. Of course he did. He's a fucking 80-year-old fucking pink person. Of course he's gonna feel a way about some type of diversity going on in his country or something going on. Oh shit, this nigga Logan Paul. This nigga Logan Paul just threw his brother under the bus. But this the thing, Logan. You already exposed yourself too. So, yo, these motherfuckers are chameleons, bro. They fake as shit. Cause I seen Fox News ask Bad Bunny, ask Logan Paul his thoughts on the Bad Bunny show. Was he gonna be watching? He said no. He said, you think he's gonna wear a dress? You think he's gonna wear a dress? Whole time he didn't. Fucking weirdo. But Logan Paul goes ahead and he says, I love my brother, but I don't agree with this. Puerto Ricans are Americans, and I'm happy they were given the opportunity to showcase the talent that comes from the island. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Don't nobody believe none of that bullshit you talking about, cuz. You just like your brother. Look, Clarissa Shields. Please, Jake, not today. Puerto Ricans are not fake citizens. You would think that of all people, you would support this as you have so many Puerto Rican women under your umbrella. What's happening with ICE is terrible, and we shouldn't want to see harm done to anyone who is a part of America and a minority. Do better, Jake. This isn't right. Jake Paul trying to protect his assets, man. He trying to protect the relationships he got with people who openly think like this. That's all that is. Let me see. Let me see what Donald Trump had to say about this. I ain't even political like that. I ain't even about to get in my political bag. And the people was talking about, like, you know, Bad Bunny being, you know, on some LGBT shit. But I've seen a lot of bad bitches throwing ass around. That's all I saw. Y'all was upset about that. Let's see what Donald had to say. I don't see anything Donald Trump said, though. Did he delete the tweet? Or did he post it on? Let me see. Which page he posted it on? I don't see it. Yeah, Logan definitely fake as fuck. He threw his own brother under the bus. But like they got a weird relationship because, like, you know, Logan Paul got his own energy drink with Prime or some shit like that. And then you know, Jake Paul signs with Celsius. Like they weird, bro. Like they ain't got no type of loyalty and none of that. They weird, bro. They be having hidden animosity for each other. Logan be hating on Jake. Jake be hating on Logan. They got a little weird relationship. Donald Trump said the Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It is a affront to the greatness of America, and it doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understand a word this guy is saying. So that's what you're upset about, because you feel because you feel dumb for not understanding their culture and their language. So as a result of that, you get insecure and start trying to slap this non-American stamp on it. Like nobody understand. He said nobody understands the word this guy is saying, and the dancing is just disgusting, especially for young children that are watching from throughout the USA. Donald Trump, the last thing you should be talking about with the allegations that you have going on is young children. That's the last thing you should be talking about, brother. I just want to say that. I want to make this very loud and clear. Don't ever act like you're this upstanding role model where all you care about is the kids when you're literally being tied to shit that was very disgusting that had to do with little kids. And for those of y'all who know, let me see. And all of this show is just a slap to the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about the mess of a halftime show and watch. It will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue what's going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace this new kickoff rule. Make America great again. Man, I'm trying to tell you, boy. Well, all of this shit, like you're literally being accused of raping a 14-year-old girl right now. And you talking about what's bad for kids and what, nigga, you might be bad for kids. No fucking cap. Dylan Dennis said this about Jake Paul. He reps Puerto Rico every fight, and as soon as a Puerto Rican artist gets their shine, Jake starts hating. It's so simple. He surely love them Puerto Ricans when they making the money. When Amanda Serrano over here getting her brains beat out in fights, oh, he love Puerto Ricans. He'll wave that motherfucking flag when he getting a couple dollars. Oh shit! But the moment somebody else he's not associated with financially is getting some shine and they Puerto Rican, oh man, I'm so against it. He's a fake American citizen. Fucking pieces of shit. But anyway, how we feeling, y'all? I done did a whole lot of talking for well over an hour and a half, man. Y'all got any questions for y'all boy? Let me know. I'm gonna give y'all like 10, 15 minutes before I get up out of here. Anything y'all want to talk about? We all know that shit happened. Adam, we all know that shit happened with him losing to Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? We happy that happened, but obviously Joshua ain't doing enough. You feel me? Let me see. Yeah, like Logan and Jake got a really weird relationship. But Logan Paul got caught expressing how he felt too. He was like, "You looking forward to the Bad Bunny performance?" No. I didn't even think about it. Like, motherfucker, you feel the same way. You feel the same way that your brother do. You just better at hiding your emotions. You not as outspoken. You a little bit more scarier than your brother. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Anonymous said, have you seen Dubois and Wardley in negotiations right now? No, I actually didn't see that, but I did hear some rumors that I seen somebody was literally I think Derek Chisora leaked it. He was like, oh, I'm spilling the beans or something like that. Like Chisora, that Dave Dubois and Wardley are gonna fight next, or whatever the case is. And I didn't really hear anything outside of that. But if that's the case and that's a fight that's actually made, that's a great fight for the UK. You know what I'm saying? That has to be a UK fight that's gonna do some great numbers over there. And listen, man, the fact that Daniel Dubois is going to take this fight coming off of a knockout loss to Alexander Usyk, it speaks to his character, speaks to his heart, even though he has shown some quit in there and stuff like that. But one thing he doesn't back down from is a challenge. And maybe he sees Fabio Wardley's style and how defensively irresponsible he could be. And he maybe feels like if he could connect with some punches, he could possibly get Fabio up out of there. But Fabio is very resilient. He is strong. He has great conditioning. He has a shit ton of heart, man. The determination. In my opinion, I feel like he showcased more heart than Daniel. So it's really going to be a question. It's really going to be a question of, can Fabio take Daniel Dubois' punches? Because if he could take Daniel Dubois' punches and be able to hurt Daniel Dubois and break him, then he could definitely win this fight by knockout. If he's not able to take Daniel Dubois' power, then Fabio might be in some trouble because he does get hit quite easily. But one thing about Fabio, he could fucking punch himself. You feel what I'm saying? He could punch himself. So, in the heavyweight division, it really is just a matter of who's able to connect with those bigger shots first. You see what I'm saying? But I do think Fabio is a bit more tougher than Daniel Dubois. But can Daniel Dubois get that big first shot off first? It's going to be interesting. You know what I'm saying? So that's really like a 50-50. That's really like a 50-50 because Daniel Dubois has power. He may not be as courageous and have as big of a heart as Wardley, but you know what I'm saying? He's game because he has legit punching power. Fabio has punching power as well, but he could lack in the defensive department, and that could give Daniel Dubois some opportunities to capitalize off of. So very interesting fight. I like that matchup. I feel like if Wardley is defensively responsible, which he typically isn't, in my opinion, or if he's able to just take Daniel Dubois' punches and continue rocking, I got him beating Daniel Dubois by stoppage. I just seen Dubois in too many situations where he folded when shit got hot. So it's just a matter of can Fabio Wardley stand up to that power? If he can, I got Fabio. If not, Daniel Dubois might upset him. But either way, it's a great fight. Ooh, he said, T said, break down Morrell versus Callum Smith. Great fight. Great fucking fight. I do feel like Morrell's best times was at super middleweight, but maybe it's because at 175 he's faced tougher competition. I think like in a row he fought the boy Hot Rod, who just knocked Alexander Volzdik the fuck out from what I just saw not too long ago. He fought Hot Rod. That was a competitive scrap. Then he lost to David Benavidez. Then off of David Benavidez, he fights that dude that was the drug cheat Katiev. And that was a fight that a lot of people thought he lost, but I think they actually gave him the victory from what I understand. Did they give David Morrell the victory? That was a while back. And I haven't watched the fight since then. So let me check this out. I think it was they actually gave him the victory against Katiev. So he fought those 3 fights in a row. So now he's about to jump into the mix with Callum Smith. Callum Smith got some good pop. He got a good left hook. David Morrell's pretty aggressive himself. He punches with bad intentions. I feel like this is a competitive fight. This is a competitive fight, man. I feel like if Morrell emphasizes his speed instead of just loading up on punches, and Like I want to see Morrell use all of his tools, man. I want to see him use that athletic ability. I want to see him use his footwork. I want him to tap into his Cuban style a little bit more, man. I want to see him be more of a moving target. I want to see him be able to box. I want to see him box on his toes. You know, I feel like if he stays in the pocket how he usually does, like he did with Katiev and shit like that, and just put his heart ahead of his knowledge, he's gonna give Callum a lot of opportunities to land them big shots, man. And I think Morrell should take it upon himself to take that away from him. I feel like he should work on being a little bit more of a moving target. You know what I mean? Keep, Callum Smith off balance. You feel what I'm saying? As long as he's able to do that, I think he could possibly pull it off. But if they just standing in the pocket and they banging, bro, I feel like Callum Smith might have the edge. But that's a good fight. I think it's really gonna come down to strategy. I'm gonna watch Callum Smith and David Morrell a little bit more so I can give you guys a more insightful opinion. But I need to see Morrell do something different, man. I don't you can't just be stepping to everybody and being the aggressor. Like you gotta switch it up sometimes. And in the elite level, you gotta adjust and move in accordance to whoever your opponent is. So yeah, that's a great fight. I'm looking forward to that. Anonymous said I'm rooting for Morrell, but it's a tough fight. Yeah, I would like to see Morrell win too. You know what I mean? But 175, he hasn't really had the best time there. Like that Hot Rod fight, you know what I mean? Like he won that, but it was like it wasn't the best performance. David Benavidez outdogged him. Like he beat him. Hurt Benavidez and shit like that, but he ain't really ever take over the fight or had people believing he was gonna win. Like Benavidez did his thing. Wasn't experienced enough at a professional level for David Benavidez, in my opinion. Then you fight Katiev, and you take some hellacious shots. You get dropped, all types of shit from what I remember, and you got a heavily disputed win. So it's like, who's to say that you're going to rise to the occasion in your fourth fight at 175 when you haven't really looked like yourself since being at 168? Because at 168, David Morrell's getting knockouts early too. Late knockouts, early knockouts. You see what I'm saying? Not the best competition whatsoever, but, whoever they put in front of him, he beat, right? But at 175, he's been put in there with stiff competition, and he's been looking vulnerable, in my opinion. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I was really looking forward to seeing David Benavidez versus Callum Smith, but he didn't want that trouble. It looked like he didn't want that. Anonymous said, what happens to the lightweight division without Tank or Shakur? They literally have 2 vacant belts there right now. It's a great question. That definitely leaves some room for some guys to possibly become world champion. I feel like, in all honesty, let's focus on the WBC, man. I think it's going to come down to, if I'm O'Shaquie Foster, I'm going to get that belt. Like, I'm going to get that belt. Javier Herrera's the WBC interim champion. O'Shaquie needs to go ahead and wash Javier Herrera and go ahead and become a 2-division world champion. That's first of all. I would just do that. I think O'Shaquie has everything it takes to beat Javier Herrera, completely outclass him, in my opinion. I do not find Javier Herrera to be impressive whatsoever. So if you could go ahead and get that opportunity right away, that'd be lovely. So I think that's what's going to happen there. Now, over at the WBO side, is it the WBA side? I think that's Kid Austin's opportunity to become a world champion. I would much rather see him fight Lamar Roach for that belt. I think it'll be a great fight. But, if it's a situation where Lucas Body has the ultimate say-so and he fights Kid Schofield, that's a great fight too. You know what I'm saying? But I think that there's going to be like some iffy champion. If Javier Herrera becomes world champion, he's going to be food. And everybody and their mom is going to want to fight him as a result of that. So, I think this is a division that could definitely unify, man. Like, Abdullah Mason got the WBO. He just beat Sam Noakes. They talking about that he might fight. I think they said that Abdullah's locking in a fight with Joe Cordina. I think that's what they said. If they do fight, that's a great one. But in terms of unification bouts, you know, there's some bangers that could be made, man. Like, you know, we could always you know, I know that, you know, the Schofield's been acting a little iffy when it comes to Abdullah and them, but that's a fight that could be made later down the line if the money is right, I guess. Javier Herrera versus motherfucking O'Shaquie Foster. That'd be a great fight. I think that'd be a dominant win for O'Shaquie, but you know, that's a great fight. And if O'Shaquie becomes a champion in the WBC at 135, then we could see fights like, you know, the ones that we've been wanting to see, man, like Lamont Rose versus O'Shaquie Foster. I seen them going back and forth the other day on social media. You know, Abdullah Mason versus, you know, Kid Austin. You know what I'm saying? Who's the IBF champion at lightweight? God damn, my mind is cooked. That's how you know I'm tired. My mind is not clicking right now. The IBF champion at 35. Shit. Hold on. Raymond Mortataya. God damn, he just beat Andy Cruz. What the fuck? That's how you know I'm tripping. Raymond Mortataya. But shit, it might possibly be a third belt vacant because he talking about going to 140. He said he want to fight the winner of Teofimo and Shakur. WBA still has Tank as champion. I heard they been stripped him, brother. I mean, I could check. They probably didn't update their rankings yet, but I think they put Tank as like champion in recess. Yeah, he's a champion in recess right now, so technically he's not champion. Maybe they didn't update their website yet, though. According to it's interesting. Boxing scene, they said they back in January 16th, they said they put him champion in recess. So if you champion in recess, you're not champion anymore. You can always come back and challenge the current champion as a champion in recess, but when you're champion in recess, you literally like are stripped of your title and you're just pretty much put on the bench until you're ready to come back. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. But yeah, man, like with these titles being vacant, all it is to me is just an opportunity for somebody else to become relevant and become a big name, you know, in the weight class. You know what I'm saying? But if Raymond Mortataya moves up and he vacates his IBF title, now you're talking about 3 vacant belts. So there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities out here that people could really, you know, come across and become a huge playmaker in the division. When I see vacant belts, I see opportunity. That's all I see. They said O'Shaquie gonna look like Julian Jackson versus Javier. That's funny as shit. I ain't gonna lie. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. I am very happy to be back on the live with y'all, man. I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful night. I'll be back at y'all with another live tomorrow night to continue discussing what's going on in the boxing world, man. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.